What's up, guys? Welcome to the Do Good Movement. Our purpose here is to make a positive impact in our society through real-life education. The movement comes into play when you guys share the content to help other people do good just like you. Guys, thank you so much for doing that. As I said in a show before, it's been helping out a lot. Movement's been getting out there. It's making an impact. That's all we're looking to do here. We don't sell stuff. We don't get paid to do this. It's actually a big expense for us. And it's just where our heart is, man. We just want to help. So if this guy has helped you, if this could help somebody, please share it. Let's get it out there. Let's do some good things, guys. I want to talk to you today about being genuine. Now, I think it's something we could all click with and say, yeah, I want to be genuine. I like genuine people, and maybe we just don't understand how to get there. And I want to walk you through, and how to get there is probably completely opposite on what you think today. And I'm going to walk you through on what I've done, what the shifts I've made in my identity to become somewhat genuine. I would hope, by you guys listening to this videos, going on my social media and all that stuff, I could almost guarantee that most of you could say, I know exactly who Dylan is to the core. There's a reason for that, right? So one thing that I always do, guys, to try to be as genuine as possible is I'll call out my own shit. And what I mean by that is if I make a mistake, I'm the first one to raise my hand and say, hey, I messed up here. I screwed up. I'm not waiting on somebody else to say, hey, I made that mistake. Because we're all people. We could all read through the lines, guys. And if somebody's having to come to you and say, hey, Dylan, what's up with this? Why did you do this? And then you're going to have to try to recover. You're going to lose trust. You're not really becoming that genuine person as we're talking about. But if you're the first one in raising your hand and saying, hey, I just want to let you know I made a mistake here. People, no matter how bad that mistake is, guys, that is the best thing you could possibly do because people know what they're working with. They could trust you. You might have fucked up. You might have done something really bad, something really wrong, right? But at the end of the day, they know that you are going to take ownership over your own actions, and that's somebody you could trust. You just made a bad decision. And look, we're human. We are going to make bad decisions. You're going to make bad decisions. I'll make bad decisions. We're not perfect. That's just the way it goes. But when you know you made a bad decision, when you know you made a bad choice, be the first one to call it out. They might not like it, as I was saying, but they know exactly what they got with you. And I think that's all people really want is they want to know who you are and if they could trust you and if they could work with you. But if they have to tell you why you're wrong or how you need to fix this and you're just not clicking with it, you can't really help that person. They're just going to have to go on the deep end by themselves and figure it out, which is not the best way to do things. So be genuine, call yourself out. I'm going to give you guys a short story on what I mean here. I'm sure we've all been to a restaurant and you sat down. It might have taken a while to get in there. You're there with your friends, you're there with your family, and you put in an order. You go ahead and put in your order, and then 30 minutes goes by. So then you go and you're patient, then it hits 40 minutes. You're getting hungry, kids might be crying, whatever. This just happened to me the other day. Then you got to go up and go find the server and say, hey, just checking on my food. And then they, sometimes, if you have this happened to me many times. Sometimes they'll say, hey, I totally fucked up. I didn't put in your order. I'm sorry. That's already what you're thinking in your head, right? You're thinking, they didn't put in my order because all these other people get in my order. So you already know the truth here, right? Then there's those other times that's happened to me also recently where they'll just go back like, yeah, they always have to be right. They always have to be perfect, right? Let me go check on it. They go walk into the kitchen. They're probably in there freaking out, and then they'll come back to you and say, okay, they're just backed up. You're gonna get it in just a minute, right? You'll get it. It's coming out soon. Well, that's kind of weird because these other people that just came in 20 minutes after me and ordered 20 minutes after me and have a larger party of people have their food. So really, what's going on here? And so what happens there, guys, if you're that server, you just not only lost probably your tip. You're not going to feel good when you go home. You just lost that restaurant business, and it just probably taking you a couple notches down off that level. And you don't need to go through that. Face whatever's going to come up in front of you as a person, just go at it head on. You're going to get slapped, all right? You're going to get slapped regardless. So have the courage, say it as it is, and that's that. And however the other person wants to act, it's going to be one or two things. Now I'm going to walk you through some. It's going to be personal. It's a big mistake I made when I was younger, and I want to talk to it a little bit. As you guys probably heard in other shows, back when I was, in the single days, I went through a hard learning curve on how to do things the right way. I've learned how to go through that in relationships earlier in my life, and I've had to go through that in business. But through making mistakes is the road to get better and the road to win, and I understand that now. And so when I do make a mistake, I look at it and say, how do I make this better? How do I make a win out of here? So I wasn't a faithful guy to my relationships back in the day. And this girl I really liked back in high school. And I did the wrong thing. I cheated on her. This was, 12 years ago. And I still like the girl, right? We still had the feelings, this whole high school sweetheart thing. And we wanted to date again. Well, her dad, now I have daughters and I get it. Her dad found out about this and wanted to cut my head off. I don't blame him. He should have, right? So I had a couple options. I said I either go run in fear of I made a mistake and I'm just not ever going to face it. And that would have destroyed, if I did face it, and I'll walk you through the story, but if I didn't face that would have ruined me for the rest of my life because I would have just been a runner, right? But good things, there's some type of feeling attached here. And I said, fuck it, man. I'm going to go get my head chopped off today, pray to the Lord, forgive me all those things, and go to the house, knock on the door. This dude's a gnarly dude, right? I would see him at the gym. He's just one of those guys that are just like shredded, like 8-pack, just gnarly dude. And he'd be like on this pull-up bar upside down doing this crazy stuff. I'm like, this guy's going to like cheetah chop my ass, And so I open the door and I say, I'm not going to go through names, but hey, man, fucked up. I have no explanation for it. I could say it's because of this and this. That's just all an excuse. I did what I did, and I learned from it, and don't ever want to go do that again. If you want to kick my ass right now, kick my ass. But it's what I feel about your daughter, so it's not going to happen again. I'm sorry. And he didn't kick my ass. He shook my hand. Now, if I would have went to the door just then and told him, yeah, well, I didn't feel really secure. I felt like she's doing the same stuff to me, all this other stuff, he would have kicked my ass. But I raised my hand and I said, I made a mistake and I completely fucked up and I own it. This person was able to take me in and become buddies after that. That's a great example of being able to do the right thing there. So I want you guys to think about this in every action you do. I want you to think about it in your relationships. I want you to think about it in work. I want you to really think about this when there's things that will benefit you in a big way. Am I being genuine here? Am I admitting my mistakes? A lot of times when you guys are making decisions, there's lots on the line. It might be around income, right? There might be something at your job and you don't want to admit you did this because you're nervous of getting fired. Well, let me tell you something. If you're at a job and you're nervous of getting fired from making a mistake, get fired from that job and go find a new job. That's not the right company you want to be with. That's not how things should work. Whoever owns that business, whoever your manager's at that time, they're making mistakes too. And to fire somebody off of that, a simple mistake, shouldn't happen. Now, if it's an integrity problem, that's a different answer there. Say it as it is no matter what's on the line. Face the repercussions and go ahead and work with it. And that person is always going to know what they're working with. Let them make that decision. At least they know you. And if you can admit your faults, guys, that says a lot about you and who you are to the core, and that you're just going through, the life path of learning. And that's all it is. That's what I got for you guys today. Do good.